Sweetie cakes, are you all ready for another video where I just talk about how like gay John and Sherlock are for each other, because I sure as hell ain't. Oh well, I'm doing it anyway. So as you all know, I am like a strong believer in the fact that I think that John and Sherlock are going to share an on-screen kiss at some point during the show BBC Sherlock. Lots of people disagree with me and they try to disprove my theories, and like I've heard on many occasions that people think that the BBC Sherlock is going to have a Hannibal ending, but I am trying to, in this video, I'm trying to prove to you that I don't think that BBC Sherlock is going to end anything like Hannibal, and why an on-screen kiss is so important between these two characters and why it just wouldn't work any other way. First, I kind of need to explain to you what a Hannibal ending is. It's kind of like a term that I made up myself. It just kind of, I'm using it like in this context to describe when a show kind of tells us that the relationship between two characters is romantic or more than platonic, yet it doesn't show us like an on-screen kiss or any like evidence of that relationship. It just kind of says, yeah, they're like in love, but there's no kiss or anything, basically. It's called like a Hannibal ending because in the NBC show Hannibal, that like I'm sure most of you have seen, it's like the same sort of genre as Sherlock is, and it's like it has the same fan base. Like there's loads of fan accounts that are like for Sherlock and Hannibal. It's like pretty much like if you've seen Sherlock, you've probably seen Hannibal. If you know, they're like the same sort of like target audience. In that, that's literally what happens. Like if you haven't seen, I'm gonna explain now what happens in that show because it's a mess, you know, but we don't need this to happen again. What happened with the show Hannibal is that the entire narrative of the show was about the characters Will Graham and Hannibal Lecter. The entire premise of every single episode was the fact that these two characters were meant to be together. You know, there's even a scene where Will like asks another character the question, is Hannibal in love with me? And she replies with this like super poetic and romantic thing, could he daily feel a stab of hunger for you and find nourishment at the very sight of you? Yes. I mean, like the entire show is that like romantic and poetic, and like it's basically one of the like gayest, most poetic romances ever. So you would think that this show would end with Will and Hannibal, two characters who are so obviously desperately in love with each other, getting together, having love confessions, and at least having an on-screen kiss, because this is what the entire show has been building up to, right? Well, this is how it ends. At the very last scene, in the very last episode of the very last season of Hannibal, Will and Hannibal have just done this massive big fight scene and they've killed this red dragon. I don't know why this guy's called the red dragon. He eats paintings. Anyway. And they've killed him and they've defeated him, and like Will and Hannibal are covered in blood and they're sweating and they're breathless, and there's like this love song playing in the back. There's literally a love song playing in the background. It's a good love song. Hannibal takes Will's hand and helps him to stand up. They embrace and Hannibal says, see, this is all I've ever wanted for you, Will, for both of us. And Will replies with, it's beautiful, and puts his arm around Hannibal and pulls him closer. It's like, so intense. They're gonna kiss, right? They fall off a cliff. They fall off a cliff. I was mad when I saw it. The majority of Hannibal fans were mad when they first saw this. The show was accused of queerbaiting, and it was a bit of a flop because we didn't get the kiss that we thought we deserved. Because why didn't they kiss? They fell off a cliff instead, because that's cool. Then I did a lot of research into it and found out that Brian Fuller said that he didn't want them to kiss because like it would ruin the fact, it would be like too obvious, it would ruin the fact that the relationship between Will and Hannibal is really like spiritual and deep because they're such like complex characters, and like they don't want like an obvious in-your-face kiss or anything because it would spoil the poetic romantic connection that they have. And it took me a while, but eventually I agreed with this, that it would kind of ruin how beautiful and like spiritual their relationship was if there was something like a kiss at the end of it. I still have a lot of problems when people say that BBC Sherlock is going to end in a similar way. It just wouldn't work in that situation. This is why. Firstly, one of the big reasons that we need canon JOHNLOCK is to prove all of the antis wrong. Ever since the first Arthur Conan Doyle book was published like ages ago, people have been wrongly assuming that John and Sherlock are just friends, and that's not the case. So we need something obvious like an on-screen kiss that we can just shove in their faces. Look, these people are gay. It's not platonic. if we don't have a kiss, there'll still be people going, they're just friends. I don't care that they said they love each other, I don't care that they're seen hugging or whatever, they're just friends. So we need a kiss to be like definite evidence. Secondly, I know that BBC Sherlock tries to be all artsy and stuff, and like it tries to make out like their characters are so deep and complex, but there's such a human element to the characters of John and Sherlock and their relationship. It's just like the same excuse that it's a spiritual relationship that was okay with Will and Hannibal. It just really wouldn't like pass in the circumstances because their characters are normal and human, and they would kiss. Thirdly, the question of whether Sherlock is asexual or not is brought up like loads on the show and amongst fans, and with the events in the Victorian fever dream that is A Bondable Bride, it's pretty obvious that he has sexual urges and he is attracted to John. But we haven't made this explicit yet. It's just kind of there to question, a reoccurring question throughout a lot, that they bring it up a lot. But it needs to be answered, and it is going to be answered with a kiss because he's attracted to John, obviously. I mean, have you seen him? Sherlock has sexual urges and he will act on them, he wants to act on them, and there's going to be a kiss, at least a kiss. I mean, I'm not saying that I want a sex scene, I mean I don't want to have to sit through that, I'm just saying in order to prove that Sherlock isn't asexual. Anyway, moving on. Fourthly, representation. If you know me, you know how much I go on about representation and how important I think it is, but it really is important. There aren't enough same-sex kisses on TV at all. We really need to normalise the sight of men kissing men and women kissing women. And like, think of the children, they need to see themselves in characters on TV, they need idols. Anyway, if you want me to like go on about representation, if you want to hear all my weird opinions on that, go check out my first TGLC video. Link to a TGLC playlist of all of my videos where I rant about JOHNLOCK is in the thing down there, self-promo. But yeah, on-screen kiss would be good for representation. So in conclusion, there is no excuse for John and Sherlock not to have an on-screen kiss. There is no excuse for them to have a Hannibal style ending because it really wouldn't work in these circumstances. We need to prove the antis wrong, we need to answer the questions about Sherlock's sexuality, and we need representation, so we need a kiss. I am so sure that there's going to be a kiss. I have literally bet money on it and I'm so excited because like as soon as that kiss airs, I'm just gonna have like fivers from everyone I know just flooding in. I'm gonna be a rich man. Tell me down in the comments if you think John is gonna kiss Sherlock or if Sherlock is gonna kiss John. First I thought that like Sherlock was gonna kiss John, but then I rewatched the series and decided that I think probably John might make the first move. Anyway, I am pretty sure it's gonna happen either way. So thank you for watching this video. Please give it a big thumbs up and do the comments and the subscribing. Check out all my links in the description. Also check out my other JOHNLOCK videos. I said there's a playlist of them now. Well, there's been a playlist for a while, but I'm just, you know, pushing the watching of that. Yes, thank you for watching very much. Love you guys. Bye.